What if the real secret to owning fame is refusing to chase it at all? What if the moment you stop running after attention is the exact moment it starts running after you? Zendaya's relationship with fame looks almost paradoxical. She never begs for visibility, never floods the internet with explanations, never seems desperate to be seen. And yet, when she appears, the world stops. How does someone who doesn't chase fame end up controlling it so completely? Most people misunderstand fame as something you must constantly feed. Post more, say more, show more, react faster, defend yourself louder. Zendaya rejected this logic early. Instead of treating fame like a fragile flame that needs constant oxygen, she treated it like gravity, stable, predictable, unforced. And gravity doesn't need to chase anything, it pulls. From the outside, it may look effortless, but restraint is not the absence of effort, it is effort directed inward. Zendaya learned that fame punishes those who panic inside it. The more you scramble to hold on to relevance, the more you reveal fear, and fear weakens authority. So she did the opposite. She slowed down. She chose fewer moments, fewer words, fewer appearances. That scarcity made each one matter. Have you noticed how rarely Zendaya overexplains herself? In a culture addicted to clarification, she lets ambiguity breathe. She understands something deeply psychological. When you explain yourself too much, you shrink. You place yourself below the audience, asking for understanding instead of assuming it. Zendaya assumes it, or she doesn't need it. Either way, she never begs for it. And that posture changes everything. Zendaya doesn't chase fame because she doesn't use it to validate herself. That's the critical difference. Fame is a tool in her life, not the foundation of her identity. When fame becomes identity, every opinion feels like a threat. Every silence feels dangerous. Every trend feels mandatory. Zendaya sidesteps that trap by grounding herself in craft, discipline, and internal consistency. Fame becomes an accessory, not oxygen. This is why she can disappear between projects without anxiety. She doesn't fear being forgotten, because she isn't trying to be constantly remembered. Paradoxically, this makes her unforgettable. When someone trusts their own timing, the audience learns to trust it too. Absence stops feeling like neglect and starts feeling intentional. Have you ever realized how powerful it feels when someone doesn't rush back just to reassure you? Zendaya also understands that fame feeds on reaction. Outrage, controversy, defense, apology cycles. She opts out of most of them. Not because she's unaware, but because she knows reaction is fuel. Without fuel, the fire dies. This refusal to engage doesn't make her weak. It makes her untouchable. Many careers collapse not from mistakes, but from the noise created around them. Zendaya keeps the noise low by not amplifying it herself. Another reason she owns fame without chasing it is her mastery of pacing. She doesn't stack achievements back to back just to stay visible. She allows space between wins. This does something subtle to perception. It turns success into pattern, not spike. Spikes feel lucky. Patterns feel earned. And earned success commands respect rather than temporary excitement. Think about how she chooses projects. Each role feels deliberate, not opportunistic. She doesn't chase what's trending, she selects what aligns. Alignment is quieter than ambition, but far more powerful. When actions align with identity, people sense coherence. And coherence builds trust. Would you rather follow someone who grabs every opportunity, or someone who waits for the right one? Zendaya's public image benefits from another rare skill, emotional regulation. She doesn't broadcast emotional extremes for engagement. No dramatic meltdowns. No performative gratitude. No exaggerated persona shifts. This emotional steadiness signals maturity. And maturity attracts long-term admiration, not just short-term attention. Fame respects those who respect themselves inside it. Her fashion presence reflects this same philosophy. She doesn't dress to shock for clicks. Even her boldest looks feel intentional rather than desperate. Fashion becomes expression, not bait. That's why her style moments linger instead of expiring with the algorithm. Trends chase her because she isn't chasing them. Zendaya also protects her private life with discipline. Not secrecy born of fear, but boundaries born of clarity. She shares enough to feel human, but not enough to feel consumed. This boundary keeps the audience curious without making them entitled. When people feel entitled to you, they stop respecting you. Zendaya never lets that line blur. Let me pause here and ask you directly, do you think fame is something to grab, or something to carry? If this perspective is resonating with you, take a moment to subscribe and leave a comment about which part of Zendaya's approach feels most surprising. These conversations thrive when thoughtful voices join in. Zendaya's power over fame also comes from not needing to dominate rooms. She doesn't overshadow collaborators or demand constant spotlight. Instead, she elevates the environment she's in. That generosity of presence makes people want her around. Fame multiplies when it feels collaborative rather than competitive. She also avoids the trap of being overly relatable. While she remains grounded, she doesn't dilute her authority by trying to be everyone's friend. There's a quiet dignity in how she carries herself. Respect grows when familiarity doesn't erase distance entirely. Zendaya maintains that balance with precision. Perhaps the most important reason she owns fame without chasing it is that she plays the long game. She's not optimizing for virality. She's optimizing for longevity. Viral moments fade. Reputations compound. Zendaya invests in the latter. Every choice feeds a narrative of stability, growth, and intention. Ask yourself this: how many people burn out trying to stay visible, and how many endure by choosing when to be seen? Zendaya chose endurance. And endurance, in a culture of excess, feels revolutionary. As you think about her approach, consider how this applies beyond fame. In careers, relationships, even personal growth, chasing often signals insecurity. Ownership signals confidence. Zendaya didn't conquer fame by running toward it. She stood still long enough for it to organize itself around her. If this reflection gave you a new way to think about power, influence, or attention, make sure to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. Which part of Zendaya's relationship with fame do you think most people get wrong? Because sometimes, the people who look like they're doing the least are actually controlling the most.